Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Hussain and I am one of the RE consultants for Harris Federation, and in this video I'm going to go through the belief in angels as a part of the Islam belief section of the GCSE specification. So as you can see on our checklist, belief in angels is something you have to know about, their nature, role, specifically Jibril, Mikael. So I want to make sure we have two key ideas, a couple of quotes and some influences on these key beliefs. Right, so let's start with the nature and role of angels in Islam. So what are angels? They are spiritual beings created from elements of light. So they are special beings. They gave God's messages to the prophets and watch over humans. And belief in angels is one of the 6 articles of faith in Sunni Islam. So what about some key things about angels? Well, one belief is that angels are made of light. So in Islam, generally humans are said to be made of earth or clay, and angels are made of light, and they can come in different forms to specifically prophets. They can come in the form of themselves, they can come in the form of humans sometimes, or in different ways. One key belief about angels in Islam is that they do not have free will, so therefore they can't sin. So they don't have it in their brains or in their minds, if we can say that, to disobey God. So whatever God tells them to do, they just automatically obey it. So that is a very key part of angels in Islam. So if I believe in angels, how am I going to be influenced as a Muslim? Well, my first influence is to be obedient to Allah's messages. Because they give messages to prophets, it's going to be logical for me as a Muslim to then obey Allah's messages because I believe in angels. The second influence is I'm going to link it to one of the aspects of God, is to understand Allah's immanence. Allah's immanence is the idea that Allah is with us in the universe, working with the universe today. Now, although angels are not God, they do God's work for him in some instances. So when angels are doing certain things for the universe, like helping the universe run or giving messages to prophets for us to understand, that's Allah himself showing his immanence. He's there with us, involved in the universe, doing it through angels. Those are two influences. And a quote about angels from the Quran: they do not disobey the commands they receive from Allah, which again talks about the idea that angels have no free will. So in Islam, there are many angels, but there are 2 you have to know for your exam. So the first one you have to know about is Angel Jibril. So again, let's look at some key facts about Jibril in Islam. So Jibril is the angel who dictated the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. So he's the one who revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. He also is the angel that would reveal the previous holy books to other prophets. Also, Jibril is someone or something on Judgment Day that will be involved in the weighing of the deeds as part of the judgment process that takes place in the Islamic belief. So, a bit more about Jibril. 2 things. Number 1, Jibril is known as the angel of revelation. As I mentioned a moment ago, Jibril's main role, is to deliver Allah's message to certain prophets, and those prophets will then deliver the message to the people. A second thing that Jibril is quite famous for is in the Quran, he was the one who told Mary that she was pregnant with Jesus. He came in the form of a human being, and he told her that you are now pregnant with Jesus and you're going to give birth to this great person. So those are 2 beliefs about Angel Jibril. So if I believe in Jibril as a Muslim, what is that going to make me do in terms of influence? So the first influence from believing in Jibril is I would basically read the Quran. Jibril is the one who revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad, so therefore I'm going to read the Quran, of course. Number 2, I'm going to always be remembering Judgment Day, because again, I know that Jibril will be involved in that day, so I'm going to make sure as a Muslim that Judgment Day is constantly on my mind, so that when I do any good action or bad action, I'm going to be reminded that Jibril will be there on Judgment Day, assisting God in weighing up the scales. What does the Quran say about Judgment Day, or about Jibril, sorry? Jibril brings down the revelation. A very clear quote there about the role of Jibril. The second angel you have to know about is Angel Mikael. So, Mikael, who is he? He's an angel who gives spiritual and material help to humans. And again, on Judgment Day, like Jibril, he's going to be involved in the weighing of the deeds when the person is judged. So, 2 things about Mikael. Number 1, he is referred to as the angel of mercy. So Mikael is the one that when Allah rewards you, even in this life or the afterlife, he is the one that gives that reward to you. And number 2, he's also seen as a friend to humanity. He's the one that gives the earth rain. Now obviously the earth cannot survive without water and rain because the crops won't grow and therefore you can't grow any food. So therefore, it also shows his role as the angel of mercy because he is our friend, and without his friendship towards us and the rain he gives us, the mercy given to us from him, we cannot function as a universe. So that is a very important role that Angel Mikhail has. So if I believe in Mikhail, what are the influences on my life as a Muslim? Well, firstly, if I'm a Muslim, I'm going to be thankful to Allah for his help. I'm going to thank God for all the blessings he gives because Angel Mikhail is the one that helps deliver these to us. And number two, I'm also going to be aware of Mikhail and his role on Judgment Day. When I do a good action or a bad action, I'm going to be aware and conscious that I'm going to be judged one day, and Mikhail is going to be involved in that judgment. A quote about Mikhail is from the Hadith of Prophet Muhammad. He says Mikhail is in charge of the plants and the rain. So again, emphasizing the idea that Mikhail is needed for our food and our ecosystem to work and for us to have nourishment. So in 4-mark questions, how could angels come up? So 3 simple ways. You could be asked to explain 2 ways in which belief in angels influences Muslims today, or you could be asked specifically about Jibril and Mikhail, how they individually might influence a Muslim today. So the first example, you've got angels in general, and the second and third example is about specifically angel Jibril and Mikhail. I'd advise you to try these questions and give yourself a time limit of 3 to 4 minutes, and then check whether you get them right or not through your teacher or through some model examples. So if I have a look at how I might answer that first question, explain 2 ways in which the belief in angels influences Muslims today. Now here, I don't have to speak about a specific angel. It's asking about angels in general, but I can also speak about a specific angel. It's quite an open question. But I have to make sure I explain the influence. What does it make a Muslim do, think, feel? So, one influence is to understand Allah's immanence. That's 1 mark. We use the word understand there because understanding is an influence. Let's develop this. Angels show that Allah is still involved in the universe since they perform different duties for him. So I've explained how this belief helps a Muslim, which is the influence, understand Allah's immanence because Allah has picked angels to do certain duties for him. Second, another influence is to read the Quran. That's my 3rd mark. This is because Angel Jibril revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. You see in this one, I've picked Jibril specifically, and I've used him as an example of how he influences a Muslim to read the Quran. Even though the question asked me about angels in general, I can still pick a specific angel like I did in the second example. Or I can speak about, like in the first example, the first paragraph, how angels in general can influence a Muslim. What about this one? Explain 2 ways in which the belief in Mikhail influences Muslims today. So here I have to specifically talk about Mikhail, not about angels in general. So one influence is to thank Allah. That's a clear influence there. But make sure I link it to Mikhail now. This is because Mikhail provides rain and food, so Muslims will be grateful for this. Apology for the typo. So I'm thanking Allah as a Muslim because I believe in Mikhail, because Mikhail provides the food and rain for us to be nourished. So I'll be grateful to Allah for this. What about the second bit? Another influence is to have hope. It's the second influence. This is because Mikhail sends rewards on behalf of Allah, so Muslims would also be hopeful they receive these rewards. That's the second influence, developed and in detail. That gets me 4 marks out of 4, because both of them link specifically to Mikhail. Now for 6-mark questions regarding angels, you can see here there are some variations of the question. So you can see you can be asked about the nature or role of angels, but again you could also be asked about the angels specifically. Jibril, Mikhail are the 2 in the specification. So again you have to make sure you know 2 things about angels in general, their nature, 2 things about their role, and 2 things specifically each about Jibril and Mikhail, so you can answer these questions. If they ask you in a 6-mark situation, we have to explain 2 beliefs, use a source, and then apply it to the question. So do have a go at some of these questions, giving yourself a time limit of 4 to 5 minutes, so you can pause the video and give yourself a time limit to do that. So let's have a look at this one as a model answer. Explain two Muslim teachings about the nature of angels. So in this question, it's asking you about the nature of angels. The nature of something means the way something is. So in the same way you could be asked about the nature of Allah, what is Allah like? Here it's asking you, what are angels like? Two things angels are like. So here I'm not going to talk about what they do as such. I'm going to talk about what they're like. So let's see how I answer this question. One belief is that angels do not sin. This is because they have no free will and therefore cannot disobey Allah. So that is 2 marks right there. It's a developed point. The Quran says, my source, they do not disobey the commands they receive from Allah. This shows that angels always obey whatever Allah orders them, so they cannot sin. So notice there, I've got 4 marks. 1 developed point, worth 2 marks. My relevant source is there, 3rd mark. Then I apply that source to my point. I'm telling you what that source means, what that quote means in relation to the point I made. 2nd paragraph. Another belief is that the angels are special beings. Muslims believe they are spiritual beings made from light who can come in different forms. And that's a perfect 6 marks out of 6. 2 things about angels, about their nature. The first paragraph about them not being sinful. The second paragraph about them about them being spiritual beings who are special, can come in different forms. And what about this question on the role of angels? So here I am not telling you about their nature like the previous slide, because that's about what they're like. This is about their role, i.e. what do they do? So here I can speak about angels in general, what they do, or I can pick 2 specific angels and tell me their role, which is what I've done. So one role is to reveal messages to prophets. Angel Jibril is the angel of revelation, whose role is to communicate Allah's words to the prophets, e.g. Prophet Muhammad. That's my first 2 marks there for a developed point. The Quran says Jibril brings down the revelation. That's my 3rd mark. Now I must apply that to my point. This shows that Jibril revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. Nice simple application there. 4 marks for that first paragraph. Another role is that angels distribute Allah's rewards to people. It's my 5th mark. Angel Mikael is the angel of mercy, and his role is to be a friend to humanity. So you can see there again a perfect 6 marks out of 6. I've given 2 roles of angels, picking 2 specific angels. But again, I can talk about angels generally here, as long as I talk about their role. A final example is if you get asked about an angel specifically. So in this specification, you've got Jibril and Mikael. You can be asked about them specifically. So again, it's not just enough to know about angels in general. You've got to know about these 2 specific angels and at least 2 things about each of these angels so that you can answer a 6 mark question on them. So 2 Muslim teachings about Jibril. One belief is that Jibril appeared to Mary as a human. He revealed to her that she was pregnant and will give birth to Isa, Jesus. That's my first paragraph, worth 2 marks for a developed point. There's no source there or application, so I must have one in my second paragraph, which I do. Another belief is that Jibril is the angel of revelation. He communicated the words of Allah to the prophets, e.g. Prophet Muhammad. The Quran says Jibril brings down the revelation. This shows that Jibril revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. So notice that this paragraph is quite the same as my previous question about the role of angels. I use the Jibril paragraph there because I'm speaking about Jibril here. He's the angel of revelation. So there you can see in the second paragraph, developed point about Jibril, which is 2 marks. I've got the source there about Jibril, which is 3rd mark, and then the application at the end. Okay, thank you.